My name's Kiralee, and welcome to this very special New Moon in Virgo report for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. I'm Agent 27 at the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and I'm super excited to bring you this report because this new moon in Virgo happens to also be a solar eclipse. So that's big news, as a solar eclipse is likely to eclipse our world. So as usual, I highly recommend that you check out where the new moon solar eclipse is happening in your chart. So this time it's happening at 9 degrees and 21 minutes of Virgo. Find out where that is in your chart, and you can find out through knowing what house it's in, what area of life you can expect big changes. Okay, so as a new moon solar eclipse happens because it's connecting with the nodes, the south node and the north node, which is like our collective karma, which leads to our collective dharma or our purpose. It's big news, not just for us personally and how we look at this in terms of our own chart, but it's big news globally. Actually, all the aspects that are happening at this new moon, and might I just say, it's a very tidy looking astrology chart. This feels like a crescendo of powerful themes that have been moving through all our lives and moving through the world globally. Woohoo, my goodness, 2016. It's been a bit intense, hey? Yeah? And so this new moon and the upcoming lunar month, and even with the eclipses, like they say, the effect of the eclipse can last up to 6 months, but you know, we can expect the culmination, you know, the crescendo of so many themes coming to a head over this lunar month and over these coming months for us to really embrace change, big changes in our life. Now, for some, these eclipse energies can be felt as quite disturbing events, shocking events, even as I get up to the chart, and you know, Uranus and Eris are in the action with the new moon making a sesquiquadrant to it, so this can feel like shock. Also Pluto, god of transformation, you know, life, death, transformation, rebirth, is making an easy opposition to the nodes and has been for quite some time. So we've really been egged on massively to really like huge changes, you know, like Pluto style, go into the death place, you know, and transform, like really change, you know, so there's no looking back. And Uranus creating the sudden changes that suddenly change our lives. So there's 3 big indicators in. Does anyone work with the rule of 3 out there? You know, you can see it 3 times. In astrology, we say if we see something once, it's a possibility. If we see it twice, it's a probability. And if we see it 3 times, it's a certainty. So in terms of big changes, we have 1, the solar eclipse, 2, the Uranus making a direct aspect to the new moon, Uranus and Eris, shocking awakeners, and Pluto there making the easy opposition, god of transformation and rebirth. So, big changes. So that's the first big global theme happening with this new moon in Virgo. Whoa, let's actually look at the chart, and as usual I will take you around the aspects. I'll zip around the aspects and then we'll come back and I'll talk about what it all means. Okay, so first up, let's have a look at this T-square. So the T-square is first of all made up of an opposition, and that's the opposition from the Sun and Moon in Virgo and the North Node in Virgo, and they're opposite, the South Node and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So it's interesting with the T-square because you have this opposition, and anytime you have, you know, 2 polar opposites, you know, in the universe, they generate heaps of energy, you know, like a positive charge and a negative charge, perfectly dynamically opposed. So interesting with the T-square, the idea is just somehow this energy just bursts through. You know, it finds an outlet for all the tension, and that apex of the T-square that we're seeing in that diagram is where all the energy comes out. And at this new moon, woof, where is it all coming out? Oh my God. There is a triple conjunction there of Antares, the fixed star at 10 degrees of Sag, Saturn at 10 degrees of Sag, and Mars at 14 degrees of Sag. Like, wow. Antares, full power warrior. Like, not sure if this is a psychopathic warrior like a berserker or some kind of military genius that works through some kind of insane genius to do something so far out of the ballpark, like military strategy that eclipses anybody and everybody's thinking at the time, with Saturn in Sagittarius, who has been showing up like this master, putting so much pressure on us, like a spiritual master, really disciplined teacher who is teaching us, you know, through applying so much pressure to us. And so we learn our lessons, you know, the lessons we need to thrive and grow. So this is all coming from a place of loving kindness, but it can just feel so terrible as we go through the lessons. So when Saturn gets with Antares, I'm seeing someone that doesn't just look like an insane kind of leader. I'm seeing someone that is very strict, you know, has a lot of discipline, is really grounded in reality, grounded in morality. You hear me? Because there's that square out to Neptune. So there's a lot of illusion and delusional stuff going on as well. So this is a mighty, firm, strong hand. It's going to be grounded, but also have this kind of cunning genius to it. And Mars, the warrior planet, you know, Mars, it's recently, all through a lot of 2016, been in this retrograde phase, whether it's the whole shadow phase, you know, which lasted many, many months, has come out and hopefully is healed. So we have these two military giants, Antares and Mars, with the strict disciplinarian there, Saturn in Sagittarius, which has us focused on worldly goals, spiritual aspirations, but really it's the warrior. It's time to take a stand. It's time to get active. It's time to make plans that are out of the box, you know. It really surprised everyone, all the onlookers, like, what are you doing? But yeah, you're going to take a whole different tact to succeed in what it is your plans. So let's wind back a bit. So that's where all the tension of the opposition's coming out, and have a look at the opposition itself. So this opposition from the North Node in Virgo to the South Node in Pisces has been going on since the nodes went into Virgo and Pisces in November 2015, and they will be in these signs till May 2017. So that's a year and a half, and I don't know, we're probably just past the halfway mark or something here. So this is a big theme we've been in for ages, you know. And one of the huge themes around this, because Virgo rules the body because it's an earth sign, rules the mind because it's ruled by Mercury, to do with the mind. So it's the body-mind connection, and it's about holistic health, you know, holistic healing. It's really about getting into the nitty-gritty of how does our body work, how does it connect with the mind. Like, Virgoans are so interested in systems and how things work, and want to know about the order of things, the mechanics of it all, you know. So yeah, there's been a whole theme up about our health and well-being. Opposite Pisces, you know, and Pisces too is Pisces has had Chiron going past the North Node, so it's been this really strong theme around health and healing happening all year, and more to the point with the energy that's in Pisces. Neptune's in Pisces, South Node's in Pisces, it's all this water sign. Healing through cleansing with the waters, you know. Healing through cleansing, not just our physical body, but our astral body, or our emotional body, our heart, our connections, you know, our spiritual body. So cleansing and purification. So this has been massive themes going on this year around cleansing, purification, healing. So many of us have been called to really, finally just completely let go of all intoxicants. Get them all out of our diet. Get it out of our water supplies, in nature and in what we're drinking. Fully clean up the diet, fully clean up the body, do the detoxing, find exercise and just regimes that we can employ in our day-to-day life, because Virgo's all about the day-to-day life and the weekly routines, and to really get grounded in healthful practices. And with it, we are kind of like, people say, raise your vibration, lift your vibration. But with it too, we become more sensitive, so that when we do actually come across an intoxicant, whether it's processed sugar or, I don't know, or just drinking some alcohol or something like that, it's just like, woof. It should be hitting us so hard by now. We're like, this isn't gonna roll. I can't roll with this stuff anymore. It's like I'm being called to higher and higher, or more and more subtle states of consciousness and awareness. I'm starting to break down so much of my conditioning and really start to perceive this world as me being a pure stream of consciousness. And it's like, this intoxication or allowing too much, like we call it in the yogic system, tamasic energy, too much like heavy energy in the body. It's like, can't be bothered, it's hard to get out of bed, or I don't want to do this. It's just like, I can't be bothered exercising. That's tamasic energy. So we're like really doing all we can to clear all of that out of the body till we become light and supple and fit and clear and well. And a dreaming of being awakened into more and more subtle levels of awareness, growing up in our being, in our well-being. So all of that's going on. Another theme in and around that with the Virgo Pisces thing is, especially with the North Node, which I mentioned before, is our collective Dharma, or our collective purpose. We are being called to service with Virgo there. So finding ways that we can be of service, particularly in the earth signs, service to Mother Earth, service to all beings, and with the South Node in Pisces, and with now Neptune joining the South Node, we are, it's like all the collective karma of all beings is really like, really up, so it's coming through us, it's coming through, because we're all one consciousness. All this stuff that ever was is coming through our psyches now, and all the best of it and all the worst of it. And that's why I highly recommend lots of cleansing and purification, like daily rituals, cleansing, purification, prayer. And when we get Neptune in Pisces conjunct the South Node too, we are really being called to make sacrifices. It's such an old-fashioned concept for, modern privileged Western cultures, like sacrifice. Like, sacrifice. And if you look at the way the world's going and the ecological crisis, it makes sense that we are called to look at all the excesses that we are living with as our day-to-day life, and start to let go of things, deliberately let go of things, even things that we think might be good for us or that we might need, but we realize we just can't afford to continue to consume. Honestly, we don't need all this stuff. And this is the message that we've been getting with Saturn in Sagittarius for so long, as Saturn's been retrograde. We've been encouraged to move into conscious awareness around taking on austerities. Now, I'm not talking about the political version of austerities being imposed on by governments to people that don't deserve it. That's a really demented version of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a spiritual practice around taking on austerities and learning to go without, and to, as I say, give things up to heaven, you know, and cut away all the fat in our life. And because we live in consumeristic cultures, many of us, you know, the writing's on the wall. You know, we've been living in cultures of what's called extractivism, just extracting from the earth, taking more than we need, and that at the end of the day does not serve us, and definitely will not serve future generations. So yeah, it's been a huge year to deconstruct, you know, so many of our patterning and our habits around consumption, and to also, with Saturn in Sag, we've really been called to come back home and find our sense of morals, you know, our moral compass, and really identify what is our morality. You know, so many cultures have gifted the people these codes of morality, and this has been a great time while Saturn in Sag has been retrograde to revision those and rework them for the modern age. So I've spoken about this a lot in videos, you know, what is your morality, you know, and make a commitment to your morality. You know, the reason we have these morals is because it's going to serve us, not just personally or karmically or however you want to frame it up, but if you look across society and all the chaos we're in, it's like, personally, I'll speak from an Australian point of view, we're a country that's not based on any morals. Like, we don't have a moral code, we don't have a Bill of Rights, and we don't have a moral code. So we've got nothing really, we've got no social contract to go back to time and time again and go, this is what we build our society on, because we know that it serves it serves all beings for all time, you know. So we need to do this work ourselves and really get grounded in morality. Something that's come through to me over this period is, you know, with the square to Neptune, is that there is no spirituality without morality. Morality is like the roots of your spirituality. So it's really easy for us, you know, that are well educated in New Age circles to read a lot about what it is to be enlightened or elevated, and to start to imagine through our, you know, sacral chakra that we are already there. We're enlightened, and we don't no longer have to deal with earth-based realities. We don't have to deal with morality. We don't have to deal with any of these kind of ordinary 3D concepts. No, that is baloney. That is just illusion upon illusion upon illusion. We need to really ground ourselves in, you know, in the fundamentals of ways that we can work with each other, ways that we can come together and consistently stick to principles and values that truly serve all beings. Not just the humans, the animals, the trees, the rocks, the rivers, you know. So, ooh, yeah. So, the power of service and sacrifice, yeah, so old school. Now coming out through this really like full power zeal of the warrior Sagittarius, to take action, but hopefully take action knowing I'm taking this action not just because I feel like it, or it's just some random instinct I'm having, or I'm overtaken by transpersonal forces that are driving me to do things. It's like I'm taking this action, I'm 100% grounded in why I'm taking this action and who it serves or what it serves. It's like I'm getting beyond the point of just satisfying my own needs and doing what I want because I feel like it. It's like now I'm really starting to think about how can I be of service and what is it I need to do, and thinking about ways to take action. So this can be in our personal lives as well. Like we're probably sitting on a big turning point at this point in our life, and yeah, we're looking about ways to step forward into the world. So we're practicing this in our microcosmic universe, but hopefully it's connecting to the macrocosm of the big society, and we're planning to do something that we feel is of great service. I'm sure many of us have looked at the many difficult situations going on in the world, and have been sitting back going, okay, what to do, what to do, what to do. Where, how can I plug into this and play my part, you know, for meaningful change that aligns with my truth and truly fulfills me and my karma and my dharma. For us to really step into our dharma, here's an interesting thing. Because dharma's opposite to karma. It's like, and with the South Node, it's stuff that we are really familiar with, like that we already know about ourselves, like our talents, our skills, our resources, what rocks our boat, all sorts of stuff, you know. But the Dharma is completely opposite of that. It takes us out of our comfort zone and into our, you know, right over our edges. So it's been a fascinating time, particularly with Uranus-Eris conjunction, creating all these trigger points and all these triggers, and, you know, this whole thing about getting triggered. It's a great opportunity to work with what's triggering us, you know, to sit with what's coming up for us and own that and process that, because that will take us in, or that'll take us out of our comfort zone and awaken us to our greater being, you know, resources and, you know, that we didn't even know that we had, that are so integral to our journey. So yeah, don't be afraid to really peer into the unknown and peer into that which disturbs you, and to take it on as a challenge for yourself. And with, like I mentioned, Jupiter and Mercury, 3 times they're going to be conjunct. So it's this real call to keep our minds open and to expand our consciousness. And the way to do this is to really engage things, whatever, that we haven't engaged before. Try new things, particularly mentally, or new ways of conversing, or new friends, or new contacts. Like, break it open. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'll round it up there, and so exciting. Check out where the changes are happening in your life, and don't be surprised if events happen outside of your control or your known universe, and cultivate an attitude of curiosity and a kind of intensity, kind of excitement to go beyond your known safety and comfort zone with things. And yeah, get ready for all these amazing changes, and let's remake ourselves, and in doing so, remake the world. Happy new moon, everyone. I hope you do a beautiful new moon ritual. Set your intentions. Ciao now.